Ben şimdi sözü bu kadar hareketin arkasından sevgili partnerim Thomas'a bırakacağım. Çünkü bu kez sizlere Thomas'ın sunumunu takdim etmek isteriz ve kendisi şimdi bize Sustainable Brands'te İstanbul'da kendisi sürdürülebilirlik ve Activation Purpose için sunumuyla sevgili Thomas karşınızda. Yes.
Morning, everyone. That was pretty high-paced, wasn't it? Good little morning. Great. So this is going to be very high-paced as well. So I've got 64 slides for you, I think, in about 15 minutes. So, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the evolution of purpose in brand strategy, marketing, and advertising. And talking about marketing and advertising at a sustainability conference sometimes seems like being an arms dealer at a peace conference. But I think that's what we're here to change, isn't it? Does anybody know why advertising works and for a lot of times purpose doesn't? Nope. Most of the time it's because we are lazy. You are lazy, I am lazy. If you think about us as a species, I mean, quite amazing that we actually succeeded inventing the wheel. We took that wheel, we put 4 wheels on a big black Range Rover. We drove 250 meters down the road to pick up our Starbucks takeaway coffee. That little double espresso latte, vanilla flavor, a little bit whipped cream on the top and 2 straws. So that's laziness for you. And I think there's no really limits to where human imagination takes us, or for that sake, where laziness takes us. So I think if we want to solve some of these environmental and social challenges, we need to start acting. And most of us just sit in our little armchairs, and are we really putting enough effort into activating purpose? Or should we actually be doing more? I think one of the challenges also is that we are quite a selfish, self-centered species. I mean, think about it, people actually do get killed from taking pictures of themselves. Isn't that absolutely crazy? I mean, and I even see people take pictures of themselves doing good. Maybe you should rather focus on doing the good rather than sharing it with the rest of the world. I mean, if we couldn't really imagine a guy like this doing this, could we? So I think it's that we start acting a little bit on it. And the thing is, if we look at advertising most of the time is like being an alcoholic, to be honest. We think that that next little thing is going to make us happy. That little next handbag, buying that next little car. So if we want to solve something here today, we need to solve the consumption push. We see 9 billion people who's going to aspire to the same thing, who's going to be tied into this advertising nightmare. So it's about time that we get down from this lazy couch-ass mountain of ours and start doing something about it. And I think that was one of the lessons that I learned very early on, and this is probably the one single thing I'm going to share with you. It's, change comes with giving a damn. If you think how often you start waking up in the morning and you think you're going to go for a run, I promise you most of the time those sneakers are still lying in the hallway, right? Nothing happened. Or maybe you actually want to spend more time with a loved one. Nothing really happens. So if we want to solve this little purpose thing, it's about time that we start giving a damn. When I started out at advertising, I was about 21 years old. And my parents were school teachers. I don't know how this translates in a Turkish context, but school teachers are very sensible people, right? Very sensible people. They don't like advertising. They hate advertising. They think it's sexist. So they would think like stuff like this, right? Back then, I would say, Mom and Dad, it's just a French baguette. I would try and defend the stuff. But I think it's about time that we start smartening up. And it took me a lot of years working in this industry to become more clever. My little light bulb moment happened in Copenhagen during the COP15 climate summit. You've all heard about the climate summit, right? Good. So I put a lot of high expectations into our politicians solving these environmental and social challenges. But as most of us know, nothing really happened. So that's when I kind of thought, what can I actually do with the skill set that I have, with the power, with the connection and the knowledge I have about brands? I thought, what I can do is maybe turn advertising that is now part of the problem into the part of the solution. And that's why I wrote the book good advertising, because I said, let's make a rallying cry to the advertising industry to change this behavior. Because if we can get them to give a damn, we can change a hell of a lot. And I remember when I wrote this book that a dear colleague of mine, quite an esteemed creative director, so when I talked about the book and I said, I want to write this book, I want to create this rallying cry for the advertising industry, and the guy told me, what makes you capable of writing that book? Like he was testing my qualifications. And I said, because I will write that book. And I think that is the main lesson here today, that if we want to change some stuff, we need to give a damn. And if we look at purpose today, I mean, I see brands today starting to get on this train of purpose, start to come out of the closet. I think one of the things that I look to quite a bit is two things. One of them is Super Bowl, and another thing is Cannes Lions. This year at Super Bowl, there was, out of 51 commercials, 11 of them had a purposeful message. So something is really happening. More and more companies are talking about this. This was actually quite a funny ad from Kia. Another place I'm looking is, of course, Cannes Lions. So that is the World Cup of advertising. Yes, we do have a World Cup of advertising, like we have a World Cup of football. And there as well, the pattern is quite similar. If we look at what campaigns in 2015 that created the biggest bang for bucks, the most effective campaigns that year, 2015, a lot of those had a good advertising element to it, or had a purposeful element to it. So this is changing rapidly. So maybe I should have written this book instead. No, so I talked about Unilever earlier, right? For those of you here who were here yesterday. I think it's amazing to see the transformation they have done, and that they now can claim that their sustainable brands, their purposeful brands, actually grow twice as fast. So in many ways, purpose does sell. Companies are starting to talk about it. Maybe I should have written this book, sell anything, anywhere. But I wrote this book, and the equation is pretty much the same thing. If you show care towards people and planet, it will be good for your brand and bottom line. So this is where we start the discussion. But it's getting more complicated, because I talked about us being lazy. I mean, most of the time, we don't really do the things that we want to do. I mean, you all know Homer Simpson, right? Great, he's the king of laziness in many ways. Why do we think he's so hilarious? Because he reminds us of ourselves. I mean, you've got the devil on the one side saying, just stay in that lazy car-test mountain and eat more donuts. And the other little angel is saying, go out there, give a damn. So the thing is, when we then go down to the supermarket and we see those blue jeans, they only cost $10, and we think, okay, I'm going to take them, I'm lazy, I'm convenient, I don't care too much about it. But we forget the fact that somebody else is paying a very high price for it. So we need to change this behavior. And this behavior goes into companies, because companies are made up of people. So you're faced with what I would call the two-headed purpose monster. So on the one side, you have the very strong, powerful animal, the bull, saying profit, profit, profit. And on the other side, you have that little cute little lamb saying, do good, give a damn, all that stuff. So it reflects how we behave. And it gets even more complicated when we have mission, vision, purpose, mission, vision, purpose. So we end up with a car that for the most time can't really move anywhere. So we need to start acting. And that is tough. It's tough to put an effort into it. If you want to do the right thing, that is tough work. I mean, we are in Denmark a bicycle crazy country. I mean, it's not a really pleasant country to drive in, to be honest. I don't know why we're so obsessed with these bicycles. So it's tough work. If you want to do something, you need to put your neck out. So when I see brands, grasping this purpose movement and talking about it, you need to go further. It's not enough just to recycle plastic cups. Because consumers that give a damn look for brands that give a damn. It's that simple. So while you're recycling plastic cups, Elon Musk is recycling space rockets. I think that is mind-blowing. These are guys that give a damn. And he understands that we're lazy. I mean, what he has done for the EV, he's doing for solar panels right now. This is a roof made out of solar panels, and that's how you change consumer behaviors. So this begins with giving a damn. One of the guys that gave a damn was a guy called Bas van Appel out of Holland. And one of the things that he didn't like was when you look at your mobile phones, a lot of your mobile phones, a lot of technology contains conflict minerals. That looks like something like this down in Congo. So he wanted to change that, and he set out to create a phone that was conflict mineral free called Free Phone. And even before he launched the phone, he had a great following of 1,000 people. And that's what happens when you give a damn, then people will start following you. But this space is changing rapidly, so you see brands suddenly acting, not just talking about it. But this is being pushed further. I mean, some of the stuff that happens right now, I talked about exponential growth the other day in terms of technology. The same thing is happening with sustainability. I mean, right now, this test village is being built in Holland, and it's quite amazing. This is a self-sufficient village that's going to recycle all its waste, that is self-sufficient in energy, that is self-sufficient in food. What does that mean if you are a brand and you talk about purpose? That's interesting. So the change that I'm seeing is you really need to put a lot of effort into this to succeed. I don't know how many of you know this guy. Anybody recognizes him? Nope. This is Howard Schultz. He's the CEO of Starbucks, and he's on Time magazine for a lot of the great stuff that Starbucks is doing in terms of unemployment, in terms of the vets, which is a big thing in the US, in terms of education. But the problem is, does he go far enough? Does that purpose go far enough? Because the thing is, if you look at the taxes that dear Starbucks is paying, it's less than a sausage stall in Austria, or in the UK, the same tax as a plumber. So a thing is happening right now, because as I said, purpose starts with people. And there was this young Swedish girl called Maria de la Croix, and she applied for a job in Starbucks because she bought into the whole purpose idea. The thing was, she didn't get the job because her hair color didn't fit into Starbucks' diversity policy. But then she started giving a damn. That was her wake-up call to do something about it. So she set out to create the world's first sustainable coffee bike. That's a small franchise model. So it kind of looks something like this. And the great thing about it is everybody can kind of participate. So if you want to start your own little coffee business tomorrow, you can do it. And think about the difference. You know, where do you feel the biggest purpose? Where do you wake up in the morning and say, yes, I'm going to change the world? When you're working at Starbucks, or when you have your own little coffee chain bike that you own and that you care for? Where will you get the best service? And this is an amazing model, because if you think about it, starting up a Starbucks restaurant cost about $500,000. Starting a little coffee bike, you can do that any day. So this is really a way of pushing purpose further, because it connects with people. And it took Starbucks, I think, about 10 years to get to the same level of growth that Wheelers had. Wheelers is now present in 42 countries, thanks to this very open and diversified model. And Maria de la Croix's mission is a little bit dangerous, I think, because in many ways she talks about breaking the hegemony of the big brands, that she doesn't like the big brands, that she doesn't think that purpose is going far enough. So when we talk about purpose, we see that it moves from talking about purpose, from acting purpose, to this new sort of purpose. So when you think about purpose, there's one place you need to start, and that is with yourself, that you need to give a damn. Because when people start to give a damn, they choose companies that give a damn. So my really simple message to you here today is just, give a damn. And if we want to change the world, it's giving a damn, or we can leave it for tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. So good luck with that. And thank you so much.